Same button I have to start my streaming is the same button that brings up the help menu. How's everybody doing out there? Now, actually, I have some more. I have some So we were going to let's kind of so we're taking a little bit of a break from Kinchi. Just because we're kind of in a weird spot in Kinchi, and I kind of want to really think it over before we move anything on that way. So I figured now it was a good time, especially at the end of the week on a Friday. I thought this was a good time to show you something new, just to see that whether next week that was something you guys wanted to see, mix and match with Kinchi, or adjusting my headphones, or not. So we're gonna continue now. The only part of the tutorial we have gone through is the actual, there's a part where you don't start in a station. I didn't know exactly where I could quit out after making the character that would be safe. So I went ahead and so if you haven't read the description, I don't know if you haven't read the little thing that comes out when stream the stream alert or whatever you call it like that, you probably don't know the story yet. So I have another character, right? A character I've had for a bit longer. Neither of our characters I had back years back. This one is literally brand new. If you can see the date that it was made, brand new. Everything he has. You start with, at least based off of what I don't know if maybe I don't remember if school actually impacts any of your starting skills. So this is all that he has, which is all starting stuff. Now I am Omega here. I think I got a bundle which ended up making me have 7 days of Omega time. I think that was. But I have some Plex, which will mean we're gonna get some of that. So I'm gonna kind of go ahead and show you a little bit of an overview before we go out in space, just in case you wanted to get started as well. But we'll also play a little bit. The main thing I think that's kind of important to know is the big difference is going to be whether you're an alpha or omega clone. Pretty much because this is kind of a free-to-play game. It's a little bit of an MMO, so that's kind of new in terms of how we typically operate. We've normally done we call it, the closest thing we did was the server-based game with Dark Dire. But all this is going to impact is going to be you have access to certain skills you may not have normal access to. I think the big one is going to be in science. Normally, you would only have access, I think, to science where it starts. You might be able to get to science 5. Everything else, I think, would be blocked out. Subsystems, we don't have really all those. We do all skills. I don't quite remember what exactly was only required for Alpha and Omega. But either way, we made Omura. I think Omura. Omura is how it's pronounced. I don't want to. I think I may be butchering the name. It's I. It's not L. It's Omura. Like Omar or Omura. Probably more like Omura. I'm suddenly starting to realize it sounds a lot like Omura. but it's not. It's not. So either way, we have another character, same last name, right? That is the story's going to be that he had just graduated the State War Academy, as you can see from here. They're both descendants from scientists, but his brother is got an R&D company going on, right? So we're trying to get this brother to his other brother to help in the R&D company and kind of provide security. I figured that combat was probably the most entertaining thing to watch. I can still do we can always go between the Lucassen brothers, or the Lucassen family. We can always use as kind of like what do we call it, to show off. And then I think we had like the Plex and everything like that. So I have some Plex, partly just because I feel like it's going to be a much more streamlined streaming experience. Less time kind of, what do you call it, spent doing other things. Okay, one other thing I want to show you before we go out is Project Concord. Not Project Concord, Project Discovery. So this is an interesting thing in which it's like a little thing, it's different during different times, but you can get money. I think it's not going to let me because I've already done, you'd probably read it. if you want to read more about it, I recommend actually getting into the game to do it. It's a free game. You won't need you don't. There's nothing to pay for this part or anything like that. This is a good way to get free money, right? So basically, with this, it's gonna make me do the whole tutorial. I'm not gonna go through the whole tutorial with that. I don't know if it's per character limit or anything, but we're gonna continue on with this mission up here. And I'm gonna tab out real quick just to make sure everything's going right. You might notice the stream real lag there. It really likes to lag when I'm It really likes. There we go. It really likes to lag whenever I tab out for this game. I don't know why. Some games I've noticed it. I don't know. Maybe I don't notice it because I'm not looking at the game when I'm back in. So hopefully the lag's gotten better. I hope it's not something that. Worst case scenario. Okay, so I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to keep doing the tutorial. So again, we've only missed the inputs, kind of the inputs part. This is going to be going through all the tutorial. We'll hopefully be able to get the whole tutorial within an hour. So as I predicted, Concord is concerned about the Drifter Menace. They have another task for us to handle. Most importantly, they're willing to pay for your services. Okay, activate to begin mission. Ooh, I may have messed something up by I don't know. There you go. Oh no, I don't want to quit the operation. Press activate. Was there a button before I clicked out? Oh no, there we go. There was the tutorial up. There we go. I was worried there for a second. I was like, oh, did I screw up the tutorial? Alright, so before you depart, you might want to examine the station services interface to which I have just restored. So this is going to be all the, so as you can see all the players there on the right. It's going to be pretty much everyone who's guests in here. That's all the guests, or all the people who are currently sitting in station, right? So we got station services. From there, okay, I won't try to read everything they say, but okay, prepare yourself, Captain. You're safe now, but once you undock, yep, you can get now. Big thing you need to worry about. High sec is not immediately safe, if that makes sense. High sec means that basically the space police will come after them. That's not necessarily a death sentence. It's a death sentence for most, you could argue most people, but that is definitely not a guaranteed. Standard containers out there. Not really sure what they say. I don't know, maybe since this is a starting area, you get weird starter containers. Alright, we're just going to follow along, though. Now, this is a Corvette. It's going to be the smallest ship in the game next to your pod. And you can kind of get a free Corvette by going to your station, and there's a board my Corvette thing. Now, if you already have a Corvette in there, I believe you'll just jump onto the Corvette you have. But if you don't have a Corvette, it's going to give you one with basic equipment. Pretty much what we started off with. I think with the exception of you also get a miner. Let's get in close to the Seeker. So we want to maintain weapon range at 1,000, okay? So you could do it that way. That's probably quickest if you're just doing 1,000. There's hotkeys. Those are all kinds of stuff. So E for obviously. Control. Control's going to have us target. Oh, I don't think it will let us target yet. I'm not sure exactly what's enabled and not enabled in the tutorial. It's been a while since I've done the tutorial. We're just moving over there. Let's speed ourselves up with an afterburner. Okay, let's lock target. Oh, orbit. Okay, so we need an orbit, not a maintain weapon distance. Okay, so F1 will be primary weapons. Now, this is a neat little trick. If you're starting out this game, you can actually, you can see? Neat, right down there. Okay, so that's going to have all your function keys. There's also grouping weapons, which I can help you out with. So, you can end up getting like 8 weapons across the top. And if you don't group them, things can get a little bit confusing. So, hopefully that helps. Okay, don't forget to loot them. Go ahead and do loot all. Now, if we had a scavenger, can I not loot them? Oh, hold on. I would not loot those metal scraps if I were you. I would loot them. Okay, yeah. I want to loot them. Oh, we're driving too far away. I wasn't paying attention to that. If you click on it enough, you go toward it. That's not the scientific way of saying it, but if you click on it enough, it'll start going toward it. It'll do the approach action. But if we had a salvager, we could actually salvage the wreck. That's one of the coolest things about this game is that if your ship explodes, somebody can come up and pick up the scraps. Like there's stuff that, it's not just, oh, it exploded, it's gone forever. There are scraps, basically. I mean, in a way, it's gone forever for you, but someone else might profit. Oh, I moved it out of the way. Let's report back to Concord and collect your reward, okay? Sounds easy enough. Claim rewards. Now, most missions aren't going to necessarily do this kind of chain. A lot of times you'll need a contact. This is all going back to Star Traders, back when we played Star Traders. It's so much like Star Traders, but not 2D and not kind of... what's the term for it? I would say that the combat in Star Traders is far more. Oh, we got the wallet. Use the wallet to check your ISK balance and transaction history, which is kind of cool. Loyalty points are cool because they can get you closed. Shares are cool. Trust me, the game's really cool if you get into it. In fact, actually, can we join our corporation? I want to go ahead and join because there's a tax rate in corporations, and I kind of want to be paying toward the corporation if I could, rather than some random. I don't know if we can join in at this time. Oh, we can only send an invitation, so we'll have to worry about that later. So you see the little corporation I made. So basically my idea is I was going to have the Lucassen family all be part of it for just the narrative purpose of it'll really kind of give a story to our game here. You can also involve other people. So Lucassen family founded this corporation after they relocated to the Archeo system. So we're actually pretty far away from the Archeo system. Because Lucassen Corporation's focuses are exploration, R&D, and sciences. Meanwhile, they're working to get a foothold in the industrial sector. Okay, so we're going to try to get... Can we not get an invite yet? Apply to join. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just say... It's... Well, I mean, do we want to role-play the application? I'll go. What do you want to get? What do you want to say, guys? Alright, let's go. Hi. That's a great way to start our applications. Just graduated from the State War Academy and headed over there to give the family, I'll say the family, some backup. Looking forward to keeping we're going to have him be the guard because he's State War Academy, so he's going to be security. Now there's an activity called ratting. I'll explain that in a bit. We're keeping the family business safe. That's good for just an RP. We'll go. We know the name. We know the name of our other character. So, hey, Drewham. Okay, so we'll say that, and I think I ought to tab that, or 1, 2, 3. There we go. That looks good. Oh, that's the timer for the non-capsular combat timer. So, if you quit out of the game, okay, so we'll not worry about this right now. So that's basically we're gonna. So we'll have to end up just paying. I think it's like a 10% tax rate toward the beginning missions, which is okay. We're not going to be earning so much money that it's nightmarish if we don't. I mean, you get a lot of money from these beginning missions for comparatively, like, if you were to just try to do nothing. So I recommend doing the beginning missions. You might not, there's not just getting a bunch of money from it. You also get ships. You also get tons of actual, like, value out of the equipment you get. So don't necessarily ignore it if you can. Now, obviously, you may want to join a corporation that has no tax rate, but that means that basically it means that whoever's running it is operating it at as a charity. Basically, it's basically a charity. That, or they're going to require. Oh, our intelligence was correct. The Seekers have been transmitting sensitive data to those sentry towers. Be warned, they're armed. Okay. We need to take them offline, but the nearest tower is still too far away unless you forget the key. Okay, it's just telling us more about the fall off an optimal range, which is okay. I'm just right now just shooting. We're not gonna be in such a state that it's gonna be really dangerous for us. There we go. I mean, it's not the Corvettes are super safe. It's just not. Whoa, boy! What was that sound? That was a much bigger impact than I remember with rockets. Orbit. Yeah. Now we don't have a shield generator. So now there's 4 factions in the game. I'm doing Caldari. Or Caldari, however you pronounce it. Caldari, whatever. It's with the A, I believe, so I believe it's with the A. In fact, hold on. The A, it is with the A. Okay, we're good. Now, I think there's a multi-training skill queue thing, so I don't think I can actually train. Oh, hold on. Let's go ahead and start shooting. You normally can only train 1 character per an account at a time. Now, if you have Omega, you can have multiple accounts. Like, if you have multiple Omega accounts. Alpha, I think you can have, I believe that you can have multiple accounts. You just can't play them at the same time. Eve is kind of designed in such a way in which you can actually have multiple accounts playing at the same time. But I believe, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me. But I believe as long as all of them are Omega accounts, you can have as many accounts playing at the same time as you want. I don't know if that's changed, but at least at one point that was the case. Well done, Captain. You may yet prove a worthy capsuleer. Since you're safe at the moment, you should consider improving your combat skills, taking the initiative to give you a convenient list of your abilities, both current and aspirational. Now, I wonder if it's going to let me do it. There are more skills you can train, the better chance of survival. Death can be such an inconvenience. If you don't you agree? Okay, so it might let me because I'm in the tutorial. Skills gunnery. Skill surgical strike. Oh, I still have all skills open. Hold on, let's go prerequisites 4. At least that's less. Okay, so train levels. I think it's gonna let me. I don't think you normally could. I could be wrong, but I do believe you normally can't have multiple people on different accounts training. I think that because I'm in the tutorial, it's giving it to me. Okay, so we got that training up, right? Yep. Oh, start. Oh, nope, see? It's not gonna let me. Ah, come on, man. Can I move this to the beginning of the queue? I don't think it's gonna let me. Okay, so we need to train a skill. Yeah, let's just go. Hold on. Let's just travel. Let's go over here. So this was one thing I was worried about. Let's orbit there for a second. So we can get the only thing I'm worried about is if I go into the store, is it going to show my account details? If I do that, now I could just skip the introduction. I really don't want to. I can always activate it again at the agency. Yes. Okay. Okay, now we're on our own. Which is somewhat scary considering I don't know where I came from. Okay, so let's go ahead and dock there. And we're not going to be getting that extra starting money. Now, there are business... hold on. Wonder if I... Hold on. Maybe we can actually do this... Hold on. You eat in store. I don't think it'll show anything from the accounts. Hold on. Can I actually... So that's the store, but I don't think it's going to show anything from any of my accounts. I don't know. I might even do... Hold on. Notepad. Here we go.
Docking permission requested. Docking
Good old-fashioned look at my notepad while I check if I'm accidentally screwing something up. This is my favorite trick. Notepad. Please capture notepad. Let's make sure it's actually capturing notepad. Oh, wrong notepad. Untitled, yeah. Okay. Let's see if it's actually working. Capture specific window. I don't think it's working. We have to use the old one. Stellar, we call it stellar or something. If at least it will fit that. Hold on, stellar TXT. Come on. Ah, there we go. I think I was doing math. Now let's check. Whoop, something going on? Or no, that's just the counter is gonna give me a heart attack. Capture specific window. Capture. And capture notepad stellar. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to just take a risk, guys. The stream might disappear. If it disappears, I'll be back with you in a second. If it doesn't, have a good one. I'll be back somehow. Okay, tell me what happens. I'll see you guys on the other side. Whoop. You guys still there? Oh, I think it's working. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly, while it is still going, right? Still going? You guys still live? I think you guys still are. Okay, so let me go ahead and use the store. I invested in this particularly because I wanted to have, worst case scenario, I knew that having multiple characters could make this a little bit complicated. So I'll try to make this as quick as possible. So if you're just coming in and you're wondering what we're doing, we're doing something in the store. I just want to make sure we don't I don't give away my information. I don't want to. Okay, so it doesn't look like I give away any information. Good. So I'm going to redeem that item. Yes, use it, and then hold on. Now that we're out of it, now let me bring you guys back in and up to speed. Okay, so back to EVE Online. It's gonna be a little bit choppy for a second. Let's turn that back off, and we're back. You guys have went to the shadow realm for like about a few minutes. Hopefully you guys are okay. I don't know I think that you guys saw like probably a little paper talking about seller tactics. Hold on, what did that say? I don't. Okay, it was. Hold on. Let's close all this stuff. Don't save. Close all that. Okay. Get back to the game. It was probably looking a little bit choppy there for a second. Okay, cool. It should fix in just a second. So it didn't end up showing any information. I just wanted to be careful. You can never be too careful. You don't want to, flash at your card information. If preferable, you don't want to flash it in front of a bunch of people. Let's use this item. Activate certificate training. Activate. Confirm. Now, all Plex can be bought with in-game currency too. So it's not just so you can use in-game currency, but for the purposes of the stream, I took the hit and invested in it. So it's worth it. It's worth it to some degree. Like, you can technically, it's worth it to some degree. It just depends on what you're doing. If you play a lot of characters a lot, then it's worth it. If you don't play a lot of characters a lot, that you gotta make the right decision for you. But for the stream, we can't really afford to just take longer. So let's see. Oh, people are upset about a wreck down on the bottom left. I'm gonna actually close that. Whoop. Just because I don't want to accidentally see if anyone says anything not supposed to say. Especially if he's getting upset. You never know. Okay, now we're... Oh, no, hold on. Pause. We need to start the skill while they're active. Hold on. The agency. Activate. Now, this isn't going to give us a lot of money. Tour is like 15,000. What do we call it? 1,000? Like, the actual, what do we call money? Like, your what is it called? Your career trainer money is way better. It's sweet, sweet career trainer money. Oh, there we go. Undock. Let's go. Warp immediately. Oh, we might end up having to do that one thing over again. Hopefully not.
Drive active.
Well, worst case scenario, we get more money. Ooh, let's go ahead and press OK. So at least this means that our guy will be able to train up next to our other people. In fact, actually, if we're doing that, we might as well throw some more stuff on, but I'm going to wait until I know exactly what's going on. We might want a small hybrid turret, though. I'm going to throw a small hybrid turret. Because the Caldari are pretty much hybrid turrets and missiles. Missiles and hybrid turrets. Some people, go straight up missiles with them, but it is still technically something you could do. Yeah, we gotta fight the sentry towers again. They're back for more. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, sentry tower? We're gonna... Oh. Yep, okay, yeah, we're having to do the whole mission over. It's not that long of a mission, so we should be okay. What's our ranges? Fall of range 7,000, optimal range 5,000. I think right now I have a Cormorant with a bunch of rails on it, which have much longer range. Right? Destroyers are pretty good for ratting. Going around in something bigger is a good way to it's a good way to get scrapped for parts. If you really want to lose your ship, go around in something really big. Like go around, get a Titan, and then fly around it in no matter, you were safe nowhere flying around in a Titan. Not because the Titan isn't strong, but because everyone wants to scrap you. It's like being around like the Jawas from Star Wars. It's like being around a bunch of Jawas. Oh, that transmission. Okay, we're firing, so I shouldn't need it. Here, I'll just do it again. Whoop, whoop. Is it gonna recognize I'm shooting? Ooh, we're getting mastery, which mastery is pretty cool. If you want to see mastery real quick. I actually, no joke, I never messed around with the activity tracker until recently. I literally have, I don't know if it's new and I just never noticed it, but this was totally new to me. I was like, I must have been missing it. Now, we're kind of low in our picture. I don't know why it kind of does that. It feels like you're really low in your picture. It's like as if someone's taking your picture and then they were like, there's a box that you're supposed to stand on, but then they were like, No. Let's not give it. Let's not let them stand on the box. Because I know a lot of people have their pictures that way. I mean, it might just be me, but I feel like having all that free space right above your head just looks silly. Like, at least down, if you're really high up in your picture, at least you got, like, more of you in the picture. Not more of some background behind you. I don't know. Maybe there's, like, a way that you could customize something. I don't know. If this game had a height customization thing and I didn't know it, I'm going to freak out. We're shooting, right? Yeah, we're shooting. Now, they're shooting missiles at us. While we're actually fighting, I'll give you a little bit of a tip. Shields, you want to use... so missiles are a little more variant than hybrid. Hybrid weapons are typically going to do either thermal damage or kinetic damage, right? Oh, go to our skill sheet. Pause, and then start. Close character sheet. There we go. That's good. Work here is done for now. I'm certain that it will not last. Okay, let's hear the drifters. Also, one thing is, I know that probably in space it's a little different. And it's kind of ironic because we just shaved, we got, we'll call it, whoever's head shaved by accident getting taken prisoner. That I made a character, ironically, with a shaved head. But I always felt that was really weird whenever I see characters from, like, military backgrounds and they don't have a shaved head. I was in RTC a lot of years, and I thought it was just strange. Like, it's strange for, like, if you're, like, I get it. Like, nowadays, I don't shave my head. I don't shave my head, but, and I don't, sometimes I shave my beard. But one thing I never understood is that, Concord has relayed, okay, hold on. Coordinates for possible source and description, shall we, Captain? Okay, click warp. But one thing I've never, now, probably officer academies are a little bit different. I imagine, like, I imagine if you actually went to, like, the Naval Academy, you could have short haircuts. I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly sure how nowadays it works. I just know how RTC worked. I kind of stopped looking into the stuff after I had my whole wheelchair incident, so I've never really looked more into it. So probably someone else probably even know better than me, but at least from my knowledge, I normally expect people like if they're going through something, they're probably going to have shaved hair. That's my expectation. Probably not necessarily reality. I think RTC technically was even a little different because you didn't even necessarily, for RTC, I don't know how other schools worked that out. But for ours, we like even you mostly needed to shave your hair if you wanted to do competition stuff. If you weren't doing competition stuff, I don't think you ever had to cut your hair because they couldn't force you. I don't think. It wasn't like they could force you to go cut your hair. But I always feel like if I ever make a military character, if I ever make a military-esque character, I just feel weird throwing hair on him. A character that's supposed to be in like the military. I think nowadays they're almost going to let people have beards. I think they're about to allow people to have beards. Sailors, I think, right? Or no, I guess they decided not to. I think I have a friend who's in the Navy, and he was mentioning something about shaving. But I can't quite remember. Are we not shooting? We're not shooting. Because even though I wasn't going to be able to, because of the whole thing with the wheelchair, I still had a lot of friends that ended up going into it. And even after I got out, I was good. Even after I was good enough to do the wheelchair thing, I didn't know what was ever going to happen with that. So I ended up having to kind of not have any expectations related to that. Oop, let's get that loot before we miss it. We can turn around. Oh, they're firing missiles at us. Too much of a loot goblin. There we go. Get that. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a salvager, so we can't take everything. I think we were shooting the wreck. Some part of me says we were shooting the wreck there for a second. we're shooting well beyond our range. As you can see, we're missing entirely. So, I think I have the 150 railguns on my other ship. 150 millimeter railguns, but they blast. There's like blasters in it and stuff like that. You don't have to do. You don't have to do certain things. Like you can kind of set up your ships the way you want. While we're actually flying around and fighting this guy. It's kind of cool. I turned off the battle. If you're wondering, there is normally battle music. I just wasn't sure how the policy on that was. That's one of the things I was trying to research, but couldn't find anything about it. Go ahead, stack all. That's another little trick you can do too. Communications sector back to online. Okay, good. Take the opportunity to let Concord know. Okay. So this money isn't the big money. The big money, like the bigger money for starter people, are in your career trainers. Now, obviously, I'm saying big money, 100,000, stuff like that. But there's people who are, hauling billions worth of ISK, which is the currency ISK. Our work has not escaped the Church's notice. Reports indicate they are planning to abscond. The data they've collected, we should catch them before they can flee. Warp to location. Gotcha.
Warp drive.
But ISK is the currency in the game. ISK and Plex, which Plex is you can buy Plex with ISK, or you can buy it with money. If you're planning on possibly streaming this, or if you're possibly thinking of playing it, whether YouTube or streaming or whatever you're doing, then something like buying it would definitely probably be the way to go, unless you're gonna make getting enough money to get a Plex, the story, right? In which case, that's cool. I would watch a series on that, of somebody because then it's like a gold miner. It's like how much we need to go and get gold and stuff like that. Afterburner, but in this case, Plex. You can also do tracking. Ooh, we're looking at the wrong people. Hold on. You track that, and then target them. They're shooting us from this far away. They're doing thermal damage to us. Real far away. I'll just start firing. Is it conservationist of my ammo? No. It's not, this isn't the best thing you can do with your ammo. But if he's shooting me from this distance, maybe I can get off one hit off on him. I don't think it's even possible with my fall-off range. Each ship also, okay, so each ship, nation, that's how you say it? Each faction, right? Has different ships, and each now you can use ships from other factions, but let's say you're Caldari and just you wanting to use Caldari ships, you're going to favor shields. Typically, there are exceptions. You're going to favor shields, and you're also going to favor missiles and hybrid turrets. Hybrid turrets are mostly going to do thermal or physical damage. Thermal physical is kind of like one slightly better against shields, one slightly worse against shields. Then there's EM, and then there's explosive that only can come from missiles. Missiles can do all four types. They can do thermal, kinetic. They can do all of them. Right? But only, but unlike hybrid turrets, if you're Caldari, your only chance is probably going to be with getting, is doing something like that. Unless there's an ammo I didn't know that had a special property to let it do EM, which I don't believe it is. Right click and dock. Okay, there we go.
Warp drive.
I was confused. I was like, I'm clicking it. So we already have Drew Lucassen up and set up. So it's going to be interesting to kind of get to where he is. Pretty much Drew Lucassen, the brother of our protagonist here, has mostly been specialized in blueprints, predominantly just because, well, for one, it's going to make our streams more entertaining.
Docking permission requested. Docking request.
Because then we don't have to worry so much about the industry part of it, unless you guys really want to take a look at it. But we don't have to and if you guys want to see it, I can switch over. You can always switch over to Jerome, and he's got it all lined up. He's got it all worked out, industry-wise. So we can always show industry off with that. And you'll see it in the tutorial. So if you want to see mining streams, or if you want to see research streams, let me know, and we'll stick with Droom a little bit. But when we're doing combat, I want to kind of focus on having Omura be the one to kind of work that out. Okay, we're gonna get into fitting. Oh, and this actually right here, it's funny I just mentioned the damage resistances, because this is that right there. So as you can see, armor. This is shields. Sorry, shields have a big explosive resistance, no EM resistance. Armor has a huge EM resistance because it's armor. It's not like electromagnetic waves aren't going to do much with it. It's going to 50% less damage to it, which I guess it's just because eventually it gets cooked. And then explosive is much lower. If you notice, it's not exactly perfect differences. I think that's partly, I don't know if the ship has anything to do with that. But basically and as you can see, kinetic and thermal, it's closer, right? It's closer exactly how that's working out. It's armor being a little bit better against thermal, and then kinetic being a little bit better against, shields being a little bit better against kinetic. So think of it, physical damage, explosions, kinetic, shields are going to be good against. Now, physical defense is going to be good against, things about energy. Think about energy. Energy is going to be weak against your physical defense. And then you got hull, which is, as you can see, like 33 across the board, pretty much equal resistances to everything. So consider that when you're decking out missiles or decking out other things. You could even do rainbow missiles and have all, if you have 4 slots, let's unfit that. I think they're going to give us a new weapon. Yep, they're going to give 2 electron blasters, which are much shorter range. And as you can see, if you look here, hold on, you can see all the different charges it holds. Oh, hold on. Let's move you out of the way. Let's move you down. So it's giving us iron charges to put in. Want us to throw that in there. Okay, so I was so fast on the draw, it went back. Okay, so different ammo types, different attributes and stuff like that. But if you notice, there's not really a damage. There's like a little heat damage thing. I'm guessing from just the overload, if I remember correctly. But as you can see, the main thing with turrets are going to be your activation cost, rate of fire. And I believe there's a damage multiplier, modifier right there. The ammo itself is going to help you determine your damage. That's your main damage determiner. Where is it? Oh no, I'm looking at the turret. I'm not looking at the ammo. There we go. So 2 and 3, and nothing of those 2. So keep that in mind. If you're like, I'm getting the best guns in the world, but no damage is changing, right? Try changing your ammo, because you could very well just be using really, really cheap ammo. But not the cheap. In this case, iron ammo, which I'm referring to as cheap ammo, isn't really bad if you're wanting to shoot from a mile away. Ammo has different types. Okay, so hold on. Concord's intelligence reports that the Seekers are congregating nearby. This may be our chance to put a stop to this once and for all. Okay, let's go ahead and go. But if you want to shoot from like a mile away, iron is miles away. Iron's your ammunition, right? But you could get like I think iridium? Was it iridium that's still got a little bit extra distance, but then it gives you capacity, or no, capacitor. It costs less to shoot. Some things just cost less capacitor to shoot. And when you run into capacitor issues, you can really run into some capacitor issues, especially once you start using afterburners more, or start using shield replenishers or armor repairers more. You'll definitely find out what I mean. So we should get a lot more firepower from that. We're pretty much doubling. At this level, we're basically doubling our firepower, since we went from 1 to 2. Now, one thing I'm kind of curious about is whether I'm going to need to do the career missions. Hold on, let's see. Oh, let's go to that Sentry Tower. If I'm going to have to do the career missions... Whoa, boy, we're getting shot from places we don't see yet. There we go. At the one place, or if I can go to a place near Airkio and do them there, so freighting it over won't be so hard. We're flying too far away. Let's go back. I use the mouse maybe a little more than I should. Hotkeys are definitely a lot faster once you know what they are. Like once you're onto it. Now I could just group these weapons together. I don't believe I can drag group. I think I have to right click group. But I think I can while they're. You can just do this group right here. Group all weapons. There we go. And then back all into F1. For the most part, I group my weapons. Some people might not like doing that, but you just have to press F1. Now, when you're small, orbiting is going to be more beneficial to you. When you're large, so there's tracking, there's weapons tracking, and your weapons actually move and track, right? If you have terrible tracking on your weapons, dancing around isn't going to help you out. Small ships typically have better tracking, though, and it's much easier to track a bigger ship. Let's go ahead and get that Seeker. I'm still flying away from him. It takes a second to switch targets. Okay, let's get his stuff. Now from all this, we're gonna get a lot of scrap. I'd say you probably get more like just iron scrap, or not iron scrap, but metal scrap, the actual item name metal scrap from these encounters than you do typically from fights. I often don't get that much. I get typically like the scrap items, basically. Things that you can use for special recipes. From actually scrapping. Oh, hold on. Let's go down. Get that shooting going. I was saying, telling us to trust in our training and we may live to see tomorrow. I think we'll be okay. We're taking hits, but I don't think we're taking hits that are gonna kill us. We're gonna get close to maybe losing our shields. When you get bigger ships, you're going to really want to make sure you set distances in a preferential way to you, because that's going to be your biggest defense, is setting the distance of engagement. Oh, we actually flew too far away from that guy. Don't worry, we'll pick it up later. Let's go ahead. I'm guessing just because these are starter people, rats typically don't, and that's typically the term that people use for just these NPC foes. For some reason that's being really weird with that loot all button. Okay, F1. But the game's really fun. I've enjoying it. I've enjoyed it. I used to play it years back, a lot more, and I used to do mining and stuff like that. I still have a company, Covet Inc. If you're curious. Oh, it's still okay. It's looking at the wrong. Yeah, hold on. Let's travel. Let's approach that. Still, because it kept that one thing in our inventory. Oh, I am most pleased that you survived the battle, Captain. I've grown rather attached to you. What a peculiar notion. Okay, let's continue. I am pleased to report that your remaining systems are back online. Now, shall we check on your rewards you have earned for your bravery? Okay. Oh, I think we need to go to the agency and claim awards. See, now we're getting like 100,000, but the mission ones from the extra money you'll get from for mission running, the career people are going to be some of the best. To leave your current system and begin a journey in New Eden. I really hope it puts us by Druum, close to Druum. He moved to the place with the best facilities, so I don't really know if it's going to be far away or close. It's time for you to spread your wings. There are many profitable career paths available in New Eden to help you start. Set destination. Okay, so hold on. Let's select set destination in the info panel. Okay. Going to Lone Trek. Okay, that's close to where. Let's jump. We're in the Lone Trek region.
Warp drive active.
So that's possible that we will be able to join from there. Let me do a quick check. Let's see. They also have some proving grounds. I've never really messed around with proving grounds. That might be new. I don't remember. I don't know if that was in between kind of my hiatus from it, or I just was never interested. I mostly did. I did so much mining with my previous character. If you ever run into Covet Inc., was my original business. Just 2 people. If it still has 2 people in it. It was me and one other player. Go ahead, jump in there. Notification feed. There we go.
Active.
And that was fairly interesting, and how all that went. We have some chat channel when there's stuff going on in the chat channel. I don't know if I want to look at it or not. Notice the capacitor looks a little different during jumping. I've never really looked down and paid attention to that. I may notice it get a little hazy here. We got a lot of jumps to go. Now, actually, little trick. Autopilot.
Engaged.
So I can talk to you guys while the game's doing stuff. Because everything in this game, you can't, it's an online game, so you can't just like fast forward it.
Autopilot jumping.
Like you could in Kenshi or do something like that. You've got to travel. Like the freighting can be really fun. You can do it like freighting stuff from one place to another can be really fun. It can also be a nightmare.
Warp drive active.
Depending on what you like. If you like playing like a truck simulator, but you were always like, hey, I wish it was more administrative and less like I actually had a drive kind of thing, then you'll love freighting because it's basically the administrative part of trucking, kind of. That would be probably the closest thing I could compare it to. Imagine like running a trucking company, right? But you could watch over them. You can watch over your drivers, right? Oh, a cargo container. Oh, that's probably someone's. Yeah. I don't know why it's yellow.
Approaching Stargate.
Let's actually look at the map. We can watch the map while it's doing its thing. So where we want to ultimately end up, right, is further over into the Lone Trek region. I think we haven't explored it. So I don't think it'll actually tell us where it is.
Autopilot
Let's go
jumping.
Air Kyo. And then I think it's 7. Air Kyo 7. We did 2 V's.
Warping to Stargate.
Moon
Warp drive
3, I want to say. Okay, we're actually going to be right next door. That's great. We are going to be 1 jump away. That's great. At least that's going to mean freighting is going to be so much easier. Well, let's go ahead and set some skills on this guy while we're going. So as you can see, like 7 hours, that means real life hours that will take, right? So you have to really be watching it. If you have to really watch it, and by 7 hours, I'm in Omega, so that means it's double fast. The way that the game wants it to be is it wants consequences to mean something, and I think that's really what's kept it alive more than anything else. Is yes, you might go, oh, why do I have to wait for all this time? But it means that so you can't just be a master of everything, right, overnight, and then never need to have other people around you. I think that's what it's that's at least that's why I believe that's intended to prevent, and I think it's pretty successful at it. It's not perfect at it. It used to be that if you died, I believe, that you actually did lose some skills if your clone wasn't. If your clone wasn't up to date or something like that, you had to have your clone worked out a certain way. But you can buy this now. When it's saying buy skill, it's referring that there's actual skill books that you have to buy. But and sometimes they can be very expensive. So if you wanted to fly, let's see, let's look at all skills. If you wanted to fly a Titan, let's see how much a Titan is. Caldari Titan. That would cost you 7 billion ISK and take 224 days of training time. Omega. That's Omega. And that's probably, I believe, just for rank 1. That's just for rank 1 of Titan. So, if you want to fly a Titan, it is a year. A year in Omega to do it. Right? So the thing is the way that it prevents people from just being able to do everything. If you want to do something, go for that. Don't go, I'm going to get everything. I'm going to just try to do everything, right? Because you'll never get to do what you want if you talking about Eden Come. We're not we're not fighting Eden Come or anything like that. So fun game. Don't let that scare you off. You might go, oh, it's going to take a ton of time. I just sit there and do nothing. No, that's not how it really is. It's really that if you want to do something, you've got to do that. You've got to just go for that. Otherwise, you could just start working on all skills for years, right? And not do what you want if you try to just be a master of everything. I think that's, to me, what I think that's at least intended to do. Because even if you have Omega, as you see right here, if you're using Omega to speed up skills, it still takes a ton of time. So it's not something you can go, well, now there are skill extractors and skill injectors and skill points. So you can get skill points through doing, I believe it's called, this over right here, the campaign.
Approaching Stargate.
Like you have a daily campaign or something like that, and you can get unassigned skill points to apply, or you can use a alpha skill injector, right? Or a large skill injector in this case, right? So a large skill injector you can use if you're Omega. You cannot use the alpha skill injectors if you are Omega, right? So Alpha gets really good access to that. Alpha skill injectors are also relatively cheap when it comes to Plex, because unlike Omega, which costs, I think, 500 Plex, and I think they're going for 3 million each Plex right now. 3 million ISK, which, don't worry, it's much easier. Missions in the beginning give out 100,000. So even if you never did beyond the beginner missions, you could do 10 and get 1 million. And then, so, let me think. So 30 for each Plex, meaning that in 900, wait, hold on. I'm trying to think how much would be if you just did missions, though. This is if you just did missions. Whereas people can get billions just from hauling one thing to the other side. And this is level 1 missions. Because there's level 1, 2, 3, there's so on. So if you want to get Plex, I've seen people argue exactly what the best method is. Mining is one way to do it. Mining is definitely one way to do it. Are we going to Erkio?
Approaching Stargate.
We are going there. We're going to be passing. We're going to be passing. Yeah, we have to go through the system. Oh, that's really cool. We're going through the system in which we have our other guy. I'll have to wave at him as we go. He's not on or anything. These are on the same account, so you can't actually play like since. Okay, so if they're on the same account, you can't have both running at the same time, if that makes sense. I believe Omega can make a second account and have something going on there, but I haven't messed around with that too much. I think the only alternate accounts I maybe ever have made were accounts like maybe years back started and then I forgot they even existed. I don't even know if that's the case, so I don't know. And then I think that I might have something where I just stored a bunch of characters on it. I don't remember. Stuff like that. Oop. You can have. I think I may have one other alpha account because this is Omega, and I think I may have one other alpha account that I just have characters on. I don't remember. I have to go back and look. Because I did move a character recently, but after I went Omega with this one, because this is a fairly, I want to say fairly recent, but this one was the one I have in Omega. I think the main thing is there's something called boxing, like something boxing where you're playing at the same time. So let's say you had basically two clients running, right?
Approaching Stargate.
And then you had, oh, that did come up. Close that. I think that maybe comes up every time we change system. Let's turn on our afterburner. Give us a little bit of a boost. I don't remember. I have to go through some of my stuff because I know that I used to play it back in college, and I don't remember if I did that through Steam or not. Because like, with Steam, you have to make a Steam account. I think that's where things got confusing.
Warping to station. Warp drive active.
But I think that the main thing is multi-boxing. I think you can only have one on one client going on at a time unless you're Omega, if I remember correctly. If someone knows better than me, feel free to let me know. I believe multi-boxing is the only time. I believe you can have another account. I think it's you just can't multi-box unless you're Omega. But I haven't messed around with multi-boxing at all.
Approaching station.
Oh, finally, we've reached it. We're here. It's probably getting docking information, so let's speed up. Definitely a good game if you like scale. If you like scale, it's gonna be good. You're gonna really enjoy it. If you have a problem with scale, if you feel like Skyrim was too big, or if you feel like Fallout or like a lot of other games, if you feel like those were too big, then you're gonna be surprised because it just depends on your opinion and how you feel about travel. I love traveling games, so I'd like to do it. Like I like to do this kind of stuff. But if you hate traveling games, right? Maybe do ratting. Focus on ratting. Because ratting you don't need to necessarily. Oop. Career agents. Okay, let's meet the career agents. So we got industry. Okay, so we got so business, exploration, industry, military, and advanced military. So those are gonna mostly. Hold on, I'm gonna just check in. Those are gonna mostly correlate. Though you may have gotten a little bit. I was just checking the stream there, so I may have gotten a little bit fuzzy. All right, so these are gonna mostly correlate with your path that you're going to want to go to. Now, however, I'll give you a little bit of tip. There is kind of an idea of who you should do first and who you really shouldn't do first. I wouldn't do advanced military before military, for example. Some of them are going to give you items that's going to be fairly useful. I tend to like to do exploration first because I get a lot of stuff that kind of help out. You get a lot of like different useful stuff. Some people, I don't know if they maybe like to do military first. I'm not entirely sure. But there's some that you definitely want to wait. You really want to wait on doing. Advanced military being obvious because, military. Okay, so I think we've enjoyed it for today. I think we had a pretty good stream. I thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked what you saw here, I want to make this thing a thing we do every week, at least one time a week. If not one time a week, we could do another time too. But if you guys like it more, we could do it more often. If you guys just want it once a week, we can do that. Or if you want it once a month, we can do once a month. So, or if you guys really want to go back to Kitschy and nothing other than nothing multiplayer, if you want to go with single player games, if you don't want us to do MMOs and stuff like that, then I just won't do MMOs in general. I can stick away from MMOs in general. But this is our first adventure out of the single player realm, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope to see you guys later. All right, see you guys. Bye.